Hi, it's Coach Andre, and these are Tempo Tennis Tips. For the past 30 years, I've been noticing that tennis coaching and how tennis players actually play is biomechanically incorrect. This is the reason why the injury list is what it is. All of the injuries for lower back, hip, knee, ankle, and foot, these are results of poor biomechanics while playing tennis. So today we're going to start a new feature that I call Breakpoint. What we will be doing is pulling 2 videos per week of coaching that I find online and see if the science makes sense. So let's go. The first video I'm going to review is by a young coach named Grant Vanderhagen. He is the creator of the forehand transformation system. Apparently he was mentored by Rick Macy, and he has about 93,000 followers on Instagram. Let's take a look.
2 sources of motion. Forces generated from what we can call independent forces and then dependent forces. So independent forces is the constituent element of Nadal's acceleration that really differentiates them from these other players. When he accelerates, he's actually going to create force in an independent fashion. His arm is going to be straightening down and back, and that's going to create even more racket head speed and inertia to create a deeper flip.
First of all, he made names for his
Sources of motion. Forces generated from what we can call independent forces and then dependent forces.
Independent force, dependent force. Scientifically, this is incorrect. There's no such thing. Let's remember, the arm is connected to the body. When you play a sport, more specifically tennis, when you hit the ball, you're supposed to be generating the force from the ground through the kinetic chain. There are about 7 or 8 forces that are being generated through the body, ending up with the racket and the ball. That's called the summation of forces. If the body's connected, if the arm is connected to the body, there can be no independent or dependent forces. He states that Nadal's arm moves back and down to create more racket head speed and inertia. Again, this is scientifically incorrect. If he's generating racket head speed, there's no inertia. And literally, that is not how you create racket head speed. Let me explain. There's a principle in physics called CAM, C-A-M, the conservation of angular momentum. The best way to illustrate this is if you think of a figure skater spinning. As they bring their arms together, they move faster. As they spread their arms apart, they slow down. That is how racket head speed is generated, by the coiling and uncoiling of the arm. So there is no inertia, there is no downward increase of racket head speed. So his explanation is incorrect. Now, still applying the same principle of the conservation of angular momentum. This is how you generate racket head speed. By going around the wrist. Looking in the video, you will see Nadal generates his racket head speed and the maximum amount of spin by using his wrist. Not his arm, not the downward motion. By the speed of his wrist, because the circumference that it makes from the wrist is smaller. Therefore, he can move faster. The video in general is focused on teaching the forehand. What doesn't make sense is, why would you isolate just the arm? The arm is connected to the body. The body is synchronized and it moves as a unit. So for you to singly focus on the forehand and what happens with the arm, wrist, shoulders, and not bring the entire body into the equation makes absolutely no sense. Scientifically, it doesn't apply, because you could master what you're doing with the wrist, arm, and shoulders, But if the rest of the body is not in synchronization with those motions, you're going to miss the shot. So what's the takeaway? Unfortunately, the break point is lost. The science behind this video is 100% incorrect. Why is this important? You can spend the time and spend the money to get lessons to hit your strokes like one of your favorite pros. The reality of it is, if you're not applying the science, you are going to get hurt. Now, I must state for the record that my critique of this video or any of the videos that I'm going to do in this series are not personal. I have nothing against Coach Grant. I've never met him. I've watched a lot of his videos. He actually is a good communicator. I think he has the potential of being a great coach. I would suggest, though, that he familiarizes himself with the science behind what he's doing. This way, his coaching will be so much more effective, and we will be avoiding injuries. His students will be avoiding injuries. Well, that's it for today. I would like to know your opinions about the things I say in these videos, so please drop a message, and if you like, make sure that you like and share. This is Coach Andre for Tempo Tennis. Every ball counts.